Peace, love, and light. Got George Macon in the building. He did a live last night, y'all, and he's at the house right now. He dropped off some shirts. You see the Urban Nerds. What? But yo, tell him what you was just telling me, bro. It's crazy.
I did a live stream last night on my George Macon 2 and 1 channel. And I had to do it on my channels that's not monetized because I know how the enemy works. And what I did was I was showing you guys that there was a brother named Arthur Wallace. He was approached by a race soldier. And the race soldier was asking him what was he doing in the neighborhood. And some of y'all probably seen the video. And ultimately, the white cop ended up being shot in the head, right? But remember I told y'all yesterday on my stream that they're using witchcraft and sorcery on your mind. Because the black man has been looked at as the face of violence. The face of violence in America is the black man. No longer the white man. Now we know the history of black and white relations in this country and what the white man has done historically. But for some reason they conditioned you to believe that the black man is the face of violence.
Right.
This is what they've done. This is sorcery and witchcraft that they use through media programming. Right? So now this black man, he's not a felon. He's not a felon or none of this stuff.
Right.
The black caucus and the black clergy went and had a set up prayer vigil for this police officer before all the facts is out. Now the question that I'm asking B1 people, how come you didn't have a bunch of black people standing outside that police station telling the black clergy, you better not go pray with this police officer until all the facts is out? How come the police officers continually getting the benefit of the doubt? We don't know if this cop was crooked. Because remember last year, Riz, just last year, they was talking about defunding the police. Mm-hmm. They was talking about all the police misconduct across America since the beginning of time when police officers was hanging black folks. When police officers was beating people ass.
Right.
When police officers pulling people like our moms over in them and mistreating them. Not just the so-called common criminal on the streets, but I want y'all to understand something. I'm going to say something to y'all, and a lot of y'all might not like this. I want you to understand something. I'm running a series called Death to the Real Nigga. And it's not talking about killing anybody. It's talking about killing that real nigga consciousness in the minds of our people. Mm-hmm. Because they took our black leaders of the 60s and they infused drugs in our communities and they turned us into kingpins instead of revolutionaries. Mm-hmm. That's the art of warfare.
Definitely.
Because a lot of those big time kingpins, you know how hard it is to be a drug dealer in the ghetto and control men and run faculties like that?
Right.
What they did was they took our chapters that we had in the 50s and 60s. They influenced drugs in our communities and they turned the black leaders, they turned those leaders into kingpins. So now you still had a spirit of H. Rap Brown, you still had those spirits in it, but now you're using it against your own people instead of against the enemy. That's what the enemy did. Mm-hmm. See, it's called witchcraft and sorcery.
Right.
They took that Malcolm X spirit, they took that H. Rap Brown spirit, they took that Stokely Carmichael spirit and turned you into a deviant amongst your own people.
Wow.
That's what they did. But see, you condition to hate your own people, where the enemy is sitting here always thinking of plans to recalibrate the matrix. Mm-hmm. How can we stop the original star people from shining?
Right.
How can we dim their lights?
Yeah, it's through tampering.
So now you walk around. So when I talk about death to the real nigga, I'm talking about killing that real nigga consciousness. Because we went from being revolutionaries to real niggas.
Ain't that something?
To real
promoted
niggas.
Through movies, television shows, books. And tell them what B1 stands for.
B1 stand for Black First.
Yeah, because people might not know that.
B1 stand for Black First. Being understanding that you love your people first. It don't mean that you hate anybody else. Because as star beings, we don't hate nobody.
Right.
We're the original people. Mm-hmm. The
Mm-hmm.
original people don't hate white people.
Right.
We don't hate nobody.
Exactly.
But they taught us to hate ourselves. Mm-hmm. And we look at ourselves through the same stereotypical lens. Let me tell you something. They calling everything a mass shooting right now, right?
Right.
Everything is called a mass shooting. Mm-hmm. But Chicago been bad.
Right.
Philadelphia been bad.
Yes.
St. Louis been bad.
Mm-hmm.
So how is everything called a mass shooting now? You know why? Because the enemy is, listen, put on your titanium helmets to protect you from the warlock spells and the elements, man.
Yes, they coming for legal citizens, so-called, to speak gun rights, because if they keep promoting the propaganda of mass shooting, that's their selling point. That's their narrative.
And it's gonna make you have a proper sentiment towards the police now.
Yo, tell them how many times we lived in these communities, TJ, and we've seen multiple shootings, but now all of a sudden they want to coin the phrase mass shooting. It's been mass shootings going on since we've been children.
See, the mass shootings was relegated to a middle-aged white man or a kid shooting up schools or buildings.
Yeah.
Now any urban crime is considered a mass shooting. Why are they doing that? Because what they want to do is change the narrative. How many of y'all even spoke about Ahmaud Arbery's case lately?
Right.
You're not. because the media is telling you not to. You are a slave to the goddamn rhythm.
Yes.
You are a slave.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. Your black leadership has sold you down the river. The black clergy voted. Watch this, right? I want y'all to stay with me for. Let me sit right here. I want y'all to understand something. I want y'all to listen to me well. The black clergy voted for that 94 crime bill with Bill Clinton, right? The Kwesi and Fume or Kwame, whatever his name is, that was running the chapter of Black NAACP, Charlie Rangel, all of these motherfuckers. Charlie Rangel voted for the bill in the 70s with Nixon to be tougher on crime. Now, George, why are you saying this? I want y'all to understand something, right? All of these are educated black folks. They went to school, they understand economics, they understand politics. They know how the federal government created ghettos. They know how state law and economic policy created ghettos and economic deprivation in our communities. They knew how the strategies that the FBI used to create the real nigga. They know it. So now when DC is the murder capital, Baltimore and Philadelphia and Memphis and Atlanta and all these places, right? They know that our peoples are victims. Victims.
So it's a social engineering / economic engineering thing to induce a set people into a certain mindset when it comes to so-called money or finance.
That part, but to make it even worse, our fucking leadership are fucking bona fide traitors.
Of course
because they knew who the enemy was, and they went to their open enemy to fix their problems in the communities.
Yeah.
They knew, see, let me explain this to you when I talk about death to the real nigga. I need y'all to understand. And a lot of people not gonna like this because you are emotionally controlled. But the shooter in the community ain't the biggest problem.
Right.
He's created
Exactly.
year after year after year after year. Is a real nigga being born right now in a system of dysfunction. Because your black leadership have sold you out in a system of capitalism.
Right.
They went to the people that shot the gun and then now they bringing the bandages.
Right.
They created Washington, D.C. They created New Orleans in 1994 with 426 homicides with only a 300,000 population. They created that cesspool.
Definitely.
And they went to the same enemy. The same enemy.
Right.
And asked him for aid. And the enemy said, okay, I'll give you aid. I'll lock these niggas up.
Right.
So now, like I said, we went from H. Rap Brown when we had chapters and we fighting against the pigs and Bayard Rustin. And his homosexual ass hated the Black Power movement. He wrote books about it. He said the Black Power movement is rebelliousness.
Right.
We supposed to be rebellious.
Yeah. So they want you to be subservient to the system of capitalism that they designed and be a complete slave, like you said, to the rhythm.
Yes. Yes. So I'm telling you, am I saying all elders are sellouts? Absolutely not. Because some of us can't even hold the jockstrap of some of our elders.
Right.
They were some serious fucking people.
Yes.
Serious people.
Yeah.
Dogs bit on them, everything.
Definitely.
But a large portion of our elders are fucking sellouts.
Yeah. I tell people all the time, don't look toward leaders. You should always look toward yourself and your family members to be leaders. I mean, we have this follower culture out here through Twitter and Instagram. Follow me, follow me, follow me. I don't subscribe to that because once you subscribe to being a follower, that's the type of mentality that you'll have. You'll never be a true leader.
They played you. They played you. How many of y'all are right now? How many of y'all right now are angry about the crime in your communities, right? Because they told you to be angry. See, I've been doing live streams about crimes in my community for the last 5 years. Everybody that watched George know I've been talking about it, but nobody else cared.
Right.
Now all of a sudden they telling you to care. Shooting in Oakland, shooting in Philadelphia. But last year I was documenting white folks and black folks in the streets going after the police for police misconduct.
Right.
For what they did to Mike Brown, what they did to Tamir Rice. Now nobody talking about that. Now they want more funding for police, and you're calling for more police now because crime is up. And no, the crime ain't. Crime is the same way it was.
Always. It's just a fluctuation, either
Right.
a little higher or lower.
So like what I always tell my people, we are not demons. We have demonic possession over us right now.
No doubt about it.
We have demonic possession over us. But the reason why we have demonic possession, because the people we trusted that look like us, to speak on behalf of us, has sold us out and traded on us.
Yes.
So now, instead of them allocating funds in the system of capitalism to redevelop your people, they put it elsewhere and they keep us at the bottom of consumption.
Yes.
So what do? We consume each other.
Yeah.
So you got the star children who lights can't shine because they don't know that they stars. I'm gonna end it with this. Some of the rappers that you hate, and I gotta be honest, because I gotta teach this the right way so our people can get it.
Definitely.
Some of these young kid rappers, stop dissing them so much. I know that they talking about guns and killing each other. I know it. But I want you guys to walk with me and understand what I'm trying to take, because I'm speaking in the spirit now. The enemy promotes these kids because the enemy don't want these kids to wake up and know who they are. Mm-hmm. See, when you got a rapper that can speak words and millions of people turn around and listen, he's powerful.
Yes.
Lil Wayne don't know who he is.
So they need to control his words.
Lil Wayne don't know who he is.
Yeah.
Little baby, they don't know who they are. But that spirit of the ancestors is in them. But it's being used to destroy their own people.
Yes.
So even people like, why they kept Jeff Fort and all these so-called, they call gangsters locked up. Because remember, gangsters run the world, y'all.
Always.
A 5-star general was a stone cold killer.
Yes.
A killer.
Yep.
But he's considered a revolutionary for military. Mm-hmm. Gangsters run the world. Gangsters that wear suits that's white with the slashes on the side of their hair, the white slashes on the side of their hair, that get on TV and articulate words that wear suits. They're fucking gangsters. They send militaries in the countries to take over the whole. They kill babies, kids, everything.
Yes.
But you look at them as the standards of how you should be. These motherfuckers are killers. Gangsters run the world. So of course they're gonna keep Larry Hoover in jail. Larry Hoover might have started out being a gangbanger, but that don't always mean he's gonna stay that way. What happens when Larry Hoover got a 50,000 member gang and he wake up?
Right.
And say, I gotta get he's dangerous. We gotta get this nigga out the way. And they'll get rid of Larry Hoover and put the pastor in his place.
Yeah, you know, most people dwell on capitalism and think it's all about like so-called currency or money. But my take on the fact is it's all about your energy. They use the tool of the dollar to drain your energy, to control your energy, whether you kill, rape, rob, steal for it. Then they throw drugs into the equation, which, it exacerbates the problem even more. Now you'll do anything for this drug. Then once the drug contaminates your body, you're open vessel for demonic possession. I know a lot of you don't believe that, but demons are real. Yes, I watched a movie last night called The Seventh Day, and the demon was saying, we're everywhere. We're in your blood, your water, your food.
They're in your intestines right now.
Yes.
They're in your intestines.
Yes.
But watch this.
People don't believe it.
They even said that they knew that it was lead in the water.
Yes.
And lead in the water causes intellectual disabilities that can lead to crime.
Yes.
They knew this. The black leaders knew it. They still went with the bill.
TJ, you know what's so crazy, bro? I always say, it's just like the dentist. They sell you a toothpaste that causes cavities, that sends you to their dental system, and then the problem just keeps going and going and going.
So let me get to this point.
Cause and
I want y'all
effect.
to understand something. See, because y'all condition. See, and I know this to be a truth. Like, I know why they let Big Meech's brother out, but didn't let Big Meech out.
Right.
See, the masses of young black people love Big Meech. Mm-hmm. They'll do whatever Big Meech tell them to do.
Right.
And what I've learned was this. I used to be a killer of my people. My shit is well documented. I used to be a drug seller of my people. And I know that when the Most High touches you. When I went to prison, a man named Zachary Ricketts sat me down and told me I wasn't a nigga. And I said, damn, I'm not a real nigga? I wanted to fight him when he told me that shit. What you telling me, nigga? I'm a real nigga.
Right.
He said, what, you want to fight? Because he said, because I kill real niggas. This is what Zachary Ricketts told me in prison.
Right.
I stab real niggas to death.
Right.
So which one you want to be? You want to be a real nigga or you want to be a black man?
Right.
And he taught me how to be a black man.
Mm-hmm.
Big Meech's been in prison for almost 16, 17 years. You think them brothers ain't got at him to wake him up because they know his power? Some of them brothers ain't never coming home. You got Black Liberation Army motherfuckers in the prison. Get this brother, man, because he going home. Mm-hmm. See, what I'm trying to get y'all to understand is, they condition y'all to believe that the drug dealer is the worst person in the world, but you love the military man.
Right.
You love the senator that gave the last vote for your children to go to war and destabilize another country.
Not the people at the top.
Y'all don't even fucking get it.
You get the guy at the bottom and blame everything on
Right.
him.
So now, when the church ain't doing shit, but the so-called real nigga in the hood that don't realize he's not a real nigga, he got the power. When he say this, he got the, how I knew it, because I had a power on a smaller level to move a lot of black men in whichever direction I wanted them to move them in. Suppose I was woke and didn't and realized I wasn't a real nigga at that time and got revolutionary when I was 22.
Right.
The same way what's his name was. That's why they killed him at 22. Fred Hampton. Mm-hmm. They killed Fred Hampton for a reason. Fred Hampton had the ability to move the gangs. Yeah. He gotta go. Mm-hmm. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is, I don't like crime in our community. I don't like our people killing each other. I don't. But I understand what's going on. That's created. We're not born. We come through when we come through that Stargate, we come through that womb. We don't come through real niggas.
Right.
Our lights is dimmed out by the time they shoot you up. Your mom is not giving you the real breast food, or she got a bad diet, so she's feeding you poison.
Yep.
They already dimming your light.
Yeah.
They already dimming your light. So now we bragging about being real niggas, but we got the spirit of Khalid in us, but we don't realize that we're using that spirit against our own people. That's how they recalibrated the matrix. So what I'm trying to tell y'all in closing is this. All I'm saying is this. You got a lot of black people that speak on your behalf that don't speak for you. I'm not saying that Othal was guilty or not guilty. What I do know is the relationships between black and white in this country has never been good. I want y'all guys that watch this video, I implore y'all guys to ask this question. Because a lot of y'all never been asked this question, but I'm going to ask it for you. Who said that white people were psychologically fit to govern black people in the first place?
Right.
Who said that white people were psychologically fit to be our judges, to be our lawyers? Huh? To be anything that governs over us when they have a preconceived notion about what black is in the first place based off the American experience.
Right.
You might got a white person that might not even be racist per se, but his education tells him to have a preconceived notion about black people. So why does he get to be our judges, knowing his ancestors, knowing what his ancestors did to mine? Remember, I'm a convicted felon. Everywhere I go, I'm reminded about who I am for the rest of my life. That's going to stay with me.
Right.
So now, knowing the history of white people, how come they're not convicted felons in the minds of us?
Right.
See what I'm saying? You let them be your judges. See, they could be our doctors because that's a job where we all can go to and help and everything. But anything where they have to physically judge you,
Right.
and sometimes not even be our doctors.
Right.
We need to have more of our doctors because we can't even trust them in that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a special report on Fox where they were saying like the bias that's in the medical establishment between white and black. The mortality rate for black women having birth is super high, and their kids dying at childbirth is like super high, and it's being done intentionally.
It's being done intentionally. So I just need you guys to know that the white man today isn't our biggest problem because he's who he's always been.
Right.
That Beelzebubian 666 Babylonian jackal, we know who he is.
Right.
We know who he is.
And we're not talking about common people. We're talking about the ones that created this matrix of destruction.
The ones that run the system.
Yes.
That Babylonian Beelzebubian, he knows who he is. That jackal, that Damien. Yeah, he's a Babylonian Beelzebubian
Roman Greco douchebag.
He knows who he is.
Right.
He knows who he is, and he's controlling the system. And you got a lot of black people that's working with him because they look at me as a troublemaker. But I got a live stream coming where I'm going to read the King Leopold's letter to the Catholic Church.
Yes, bro. You
And then
bring that out.
I'm going to read the South African letter to the South African government on how to control the African. And I'm going to break that shit down, and it's still being played out today. Go watch that video of the prayer vigil of the Black Caucus and the CDC praying with that 26-year-old white cop before all the facts is out. They criminalized that brother before the white man even got a chance to criminalize him. This is the people that look like us.
Yeah, and he wasn't a convicted felon. All his firearms were legal, and it's documented cases that set precedents that says like it's lawful to defend yourself against a crooked law enforcement officer. It's not a crime.
Well, see, they got us hating each other now because they keep showing so-called inner city crime. But I want you listen. I'm not saying that I condone.
It's bad.
Because I'll be the first to tell you. If you go and shoot into a crowd of 100 people and you black, you are a traitor to our people, man, and we gotta fuck you up.
Yeah.
We gotta fuck you up. But I'm gonna be real with you. A shooting in the hood, I expect that because our people light has been dimmed out by a group of other competing men.
Yes.
So the Most High has sent me. The Most High has sent me to come here to bring awareness to my people. I don't look at my people through the same stereotypical lens as the enemy.
Right.
I can get angry and get frustrated, but my people, we ain't them. We
Right.
will never be them.
Right. Yeah. Even the dysfunction that's
why we bad at it.
publicized on the news is not even at that mass level. Because remember, you told me a long time ago. Just look at all the wars and conflicts. It's billions of people that's been killed. We could kill 500 people a day, and you remember you told me it would never match historically to what they've done.
Riz was frustrated one day, and he was going in on our people, and I had to pull Riz out the shop. And I had to explain to Riz, I said, Riz, you know what we came here for. Be slow to anger against your own people because you let the enemy win. I told Riz this. And I said, Riz, let me ask you something. Who was killing all the whales and all the sharks and stuff on the planet? Who was fracking in the ground and destroying the planet? Who was spraying the ozone layer? Who was creating bombs and dropping gas and blowing up whole fucking countries? Is that black people?
No.
Riz said no. I said, Riz, so we got urban crime and we destroying each other, but who's benefiting from us destroying each other? Who's the culprit? Who threw the rocks to even cause that problem?
Right.
I said, so we can never be them.
Right.
I said, the Most High is letting us know that we came here to wake up our people to be a light in the dark room and to expose the lie. Because I don't know no African people or black people here or there that's creating atom bombs, that's dropping it on fucking people, that's fracking in the ground, that's putting shit in the sky, that's causing it to acid rain, that's killing the fucking vegetation,
lead in the water,
destroying the chlorophyll.
Right.
That ain't black people.
Right. So it's what we're doing.
We ain't nothing.
It's microscopic.
Yes.
Just being blown up on their media.
But it's called witchcraft. Put on your titanium helmets
Magic.
to protect you from the warlock spells of the elements.
Oh, you mentioned it earlier. Magic.
I told you guys, man.
Magic.
These are the Babylonian, Beelzebubian, 666 Damien Jackals out here causing this shit. And they making you hate yourself while they're the ones destroying everything.
Yes.
We don't own the gun manufacturers. Man, listen, we invented them and everything, but our minds, we don't even think to say, hey, I'm going to create a bomb and blow up 1 billion people. That's not the way star beings think.
No, we create something that helps, that contributes, that makes life easier. I mean, it's a perfect example. If you ever been in prison, or you see how the inmates invent things out of nothing to make their stay more comfortable.
You use the prison stay. I'll give you one better. Some of these real niggas are stone cold killers. When you take them out of that environment and you lock them up and you flash that light on them, poof, they wake up like, fuck, I get here and shit.
Yep.
They no longer that person. You got brothers that's been in jail 15, 16, 17. You let them out now, they'll never commit a crime.
Yeah.
They ain't real niggas.
Yeah.
They had a spell cast on them. So some of your rappers, some of your gangsters in the hood, they was supposed to be your leaders.
Right.
Not the fucking church. Because the young people's gravitating towards him. And it's not, see, anybody can sell drugs, right? When I was out there selling drugs before we got to the bricks, it was a lot of dudes that had a half ounce, a quarter ounce. None of them had the ability to get to the bricks, only a select few. Because whether we had kilos of cocaine or whatever we did, we would rise to the top because we had that charisma and talent. The white man knew it, so the white man said, "Get these niggas drugs," and they'll, instead of them being the next Martin Luthers, right? And whether you like Martin Luther or not, I'm talking about the spirit of the movement.
Yes.
The voice. Instead of them being the next Martin Luthers, they'll become a danger amongst their own people.
Right.
And they'll take that same spirit and destroy their own people. That's what they do.
And then the oppressor will make laws to go against what you're doing, and he gave it to you.
So remember, y'all, pay attention to this Otha Wallace case. Pay attention to what's going on. Don't give the enemy the benefit of the doubt because they'll never give you. And understand that, listen, the black caucus, the black clergy, the black church, not all of them, but a large portion of them, has turned their back on the community, and they hate you worse than the white man. They hate you. You're rebellious. And they want to dim your light. So remember, I love y'all, man. Urban Nerds up. Man, make sure y'all go to the website, Urban Nerds Worldwide, and get your shirts, man. Every time you buy a shirt, it's a contribution to the nonprofit, man. Make sure Urban Nerds Worldwide. Make sure you go to Urban Nerds Worldwide website, man, and order your shirts, man. We got a bunch of shirts on there. Remember, death to the real nigga consciousness, Urban Nerds, not urban shooters. Peace.
Peace, love, and light.